of wonders, God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
Hi, my name is Esther Karongo. Welcome to our channel, God of Wonders. Today we have a special guest and she's going to introduce herself. Karibu sana, Karo.
Thank you, Esther. Yes, my name is Carol, and I thank God. Thank you for inviting me over to this session. And first, I would like to make a disclaimer, even before I do we go further into our discussion. And what I want to say is that this conversation that we are having is purely for the sake of the gospel. And for me, why I even came out, the Bible says that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And to me, I feel there's so much that God has done in my life that I would like to share with other people. And besides that, I want people to learn from my mistakes. I want people to learn from my life. So it is purely out of the zeal and passion to see families change, families grow, and people becoming better. I come from a family where there's my dad and my mom are still alive, and they have been there for us. And one of the things that I really appreciate about my dad, he really did so much. He really did everything, even with the resources that he had. He really would take care of us. He would be there for us. Anytime we wanted anything, he would provide for us. And for me, I always thought that was the model. You know, that is how families should be.
Yes.
My mom was also equally very good. She's a very good cook, a homemaker, and she's also very vibrant. She also is very vibrant in the community. So that is how we grew up. Actually, Esther, I grew up in a home where visitors were always welcome. People, my parents were always advising people. And even now, and of course, we didn't lack challenges. There was a way they used to work it out. And they are still together. They are now into almost 40 years of marriage. And I really thank God that they have been together and they have grown strong. So why I'm saying this is because as a girl, I thought, wow, this is the ideal marriage. I would watch how my dad would come to the kitchen. My dad was a hotelier. He would come to the kitchen. Actually, all the time, he's the one who prepared breakfast for us. Sometimes you'll find them in the kitchen with my mom. And I'm the kind of child, I was the firstborn actually. And my dad being a hotelier, he used to work in shifts. So there are times you would see my dad come, he comes home at 2 a.m. in the night, and then tomorrow he leaves at about midday. So I grew up, when you wake up in the night, you hear my parents conversing, and my parents would communicate, and they talk, and they talk. And despite the challenges they had, they were very good friends. I remember just the other day, my mom knows so much about my father's family. My father knows so much about my mother's family. Until one time, my father is saying something about his family, and my mother corrects him and says, no, that one was not their sister. This one was their sister. This one was their stepsister. And my dad was like, you know, you got married here, and then you took over my family. You know, you took over my family. So I'm even confused. How do you know my people like that? But they have, that is the power of conversation in marriage. Actually, these people were very close. And I know in every family, in every marriage, the enemy wants to attack the marriage. And when you see two people who are very close together, these are people who can do exploits. I can tell you my parents have really, they did well for their time and their season. And until they got out of where we were living, and now they went and bought another place. They built a very nice house there. They have they're able to do their farming, and they're still together, and they're continuing to grow. So what I'm saying is, I grew up in a family setup that things were working. My parents decide they're building rentals. That is a project not for my father alone. is a project for my mother and my father. My father was working. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but you could see she's trying to chip in. She has put pigs. Actually, when I went to school, we had so many of them. She would go out of her way, get good breeds, and that is what would pay our fees on top of the hotelier salary that my dad was getting. Again, I would see my mom would, my mom used to do weaves, and she would do small businesses here and there. She would bring women together, approach a bank, and tell the bank, you know, me, I have 10 women. And these ones, you can start lending them money. And actually, I remember my mom, with her little education, she has worked with Jamii Bora, she has worked with Kenya Women. All those microfinances used to look for her so that she can go mashinani and now bring out the women who want to come, save with them, get small loans, and she would follow up. And at the same time, so, you know, she's still a home person. So that is when we grew up a bit. And my dad would really appreciate that, because she would go get a loan, they come, they finish the rentals, and the income comes. My dad would tell us that, you know, I told God, give me a wife that we will live together and we will never separate.
Amen.
And we will never separate. So every time there was a challenge and there were fights, my dad would tone down, and he will remind God, I told you, God, I don't want to leave my wife. And that's what he always tells us. And he would tell us that at that time. So me, the model of man I knew was a man who, you know, despite the challenges, he can come back to himself and say no. And he'll call the wife and he'll tell Mama, let's go out. I need to buy you some coffee somewhere. We sit down and have that discussion. And when they come back, they are doing well.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
I used to go to church, Nairobi Lighthouse. And when I was in church, we had a cell at our vicinity, at our location where we were. And that cell was good because we used to have people coming in. Now, we used to meet in a house. And I went and I was told there's a cell there. So I tagged my small sister along. She was very stubborn, but she would tell me, today is cell, let us go. So one time we are in the cell and this man comes in and he walks in, and there's a single seat, a sofa. And he went there and he sat in the sofa, and then he stopped, he prayed, then he knelt down and he started worshiping. And
Amen.
I don't know what happened. I opened my eyes and I was like, wow.
What a
I
man.
love the way this guy is worshiping. And this guy loves God, you know. And I started thinking, hey, I don't know, I started feeling some warmth towards this guy. And I was like, then another thought came and said, like, Carol, what are you thinking? You know, this guy, by the way, he could be married. So by the way, I stopped those thoughts, haraka, and I went back into my prayer and continued. So that day ended. And then when we just continued going, and he would come in. Me, I never knew he was the owner of the house. And he would go to a corner and he would pray. And he would pray and I would keep on looking at him. I don't know why I kept on looking at him, but there was just something about him. So it happened one day when I was coming from college. I met him in a bus. And me, I didn't see him, but he saw me. So he lit, you know, those days we used to have the KBS.
Yes.
So he went to the front door and he alighted from the front door. And me, I came from the back door. So somehow in between, when he was coming like this and I was like this, so we met somewhere in the middle. And when we met in the middle, he said, hi, Carol. And I was like, oh, hi. What are you doing? I said, I'm just coming from college. It was on a Sunday. He was coming from church. And I said, I'm coming from college. I just want to go home. I'll wash my clothes. And then tomorrow morning, I will leave and go back. I was doing media at that time. So he said, okay, you guys, why don't you, once you're finished, why don't you come over to our house? We are having my friends are coming over and we're going to watch a movie. So I thought, oh, okay. But I didn't think much of it because I was really actually I was really never a movie person, but my sister was. So I go home and I wash my clothes, and my sister comes and she's like, okay, I'm bored. She's like, oh, by the way, I met Robert, and he said something like he's having a movie and his friends are coming, so why don't you go there? My sister said, I'm going, but I'm not going with alone. You're coming with me. Because she had cleaned up the house and everything, so we had some free time. So me and her, we left and we went. And we found these guys had an ostrich egg. Yeah? They had an ostrich egg. And the egg was so big, and it was so, we were so like excited. And they were drilling a hole in between. And then after that, everybody, we went to the kitchen and we made the eggs and everything. So what happened is on that day, he brought glasses, juice in normal glasses and gave everybody. But when it came to me, he gave me a wine glass, and the juice was red.
Different.
So, yes, the juice was different from everybody. We were about 10 people in the house. So, interesting enough, me, Esther, those things I never notice. I never notice those kind of things.
Yes.
So, everyone is taking their juice and everyone is looking at me, including my sister. And I'm wondering, what's up with people? What's wrong with people? And even someone commented and said, hey, by the way, how come you and her have a wine glass with red juice? And he was like, I think it caught him off guard. And he said, no, the cocoa pine is over. So I decided to do what was remaining. And even the glasses were over. And imagine still, it didn't dawn on me something was happening. So we kept on going there to watch movies, maybe Sunday afternoon. So one time he tells me, I want to talk to you. So he didn't know how to say it. So he brought, there's something he had bought, an engraving. And it was written, I'm thinking of you.
Wow.
So he wrapped it nicely, and then he escorted us, and then he told me, I want you to have this, but don't look at it here. Look at it when you get home. So my sister had tried to tell me, I think that guy likes you. And I was like, no, he doesn't like me. And this guy, he has no facial expressions. So it's very hard to tell what he's thinking, what he's feeling. There are people who are easy, you can tell what this person is doing. So I took the engraving and I got home. And my sister was very interested.
To know.
Yeah, she's younger. She's only
this?
3 years younger than me. So she came and she told me, Ebu, let's go to the bedroom and check. In fact, she's the one who was hiding it from my mom because my mom ideally would take it and throw it away. So we went to the bedroom and my sister, she said, Ebu, bring it. And she unwrapped it and she saw what it was. She said, you see, I've been telling you, this guy likes you. So it's like, oh, that is what what is it written? I'm thinking of you. You see, I was right. So the next time we went there, now he knew that he had communicated. So we would talk, and at one point there was a lady who came into the house, and he moved from where he was sitting. He came and sat where I was sitting. He held my hand, and everybody else but me seemed to be aware of what was happening. But I didn't think much. So we sat there and we are talking. He told me, that lady, we've been having a thing with that girl, but I have told her I want her to see that it is over, whatever we were having with her, and I want her to know that this is your house now. We actually started dating, and from the word go, I started seeing my dad in this man. Girls will always see their dad. I could see that he's very responsible. He'll take care of me. He'll say, and I never knew how to ask for money. I never knew how to ask for anything. So he would tell me, I need you to go and make your hair. I need you to go and to go and do this. I need to pick you up from. So I was like, hey, this is a nice guy. He's taking care of me. And we went on like that. And the next 3 months, actually he came and told me, now I want us to get married. And I was like, wow. So we got married in a good church, in a good church wedding. All his clients were there, and at home, it was glamorous. So we finished the wedding and we went for honeymoon. Then we came back, and the guy was good. And I tell you, Esther, within the first 4 years that we lived together, we were very close.
Oh, great.
And we would sit down and we would plan. I remember he took our first policy for our firstborn with Old Mutual. And I remember he even insisted, the agent is coming. Why don't you come? She was a very nice lady. Why don't you come? She wants to take us through financial planning. And I remember that time she brought a chart.
Wow.
And this chart, it was like, in the next 5 years, what do we want to do? In the next 10 years, what do we want to do? And we went through it. And we were both aware what we want to do. And let me tell you, that man had a lot of potential. I'd look at this person, and I am looking at, if we go through the plan as we have planned it, we're gonna buy a big house. We're gonna do so much. And I'll tell you, in 10 years that we lived together, we had bought about 5 plots. We had built our own house on one. We had built rentals on another. We had actually built 2 rentals on 2 separate plots, and one of it we had given it to the mother entirely with the rentals. So we were going somewhere. We were heading somewhere. And we were so close to the extent that some people would look at me and tell me, Carol, you know, you actually speak like your husband. And wherever we go, we were always together. And we even bought cars. You know, I found him with nothing. We were actually living in a mabati house, a self-contained. And I remember it was not easy for us because he had just started the garage.
Wow, that is so interesting. That story, it's so great even to hear about Carol's, where he began. But one thing, Carol, I've discovered, your expectation from where you're coming from, they're so great.
Yeah.
So we are waiting to hear more about Carol's story and her journey of her marriage.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
So one time, I remember, my sister-in-law came. And this happened when, very early in the morning, my husband was leaving for work. So she came to the house. And at that time, we were living somewhere in Derry. And when she came, these are the first years of marriage when I have just finished college. So I remember there was a way, I knew my sister-in-law from a while back. Actually, my sister-in-law and the husband were family friends of my parents. I knew her. And you know, she's very beautiful. And I loved her. And I was so mesmerized. Even when I was growing up, I remember sometimes I would meet her somewhere and I was like, that lady is beautiful. So this time, now when I got married to this family, I was like, oh my God, you know? And for some reason, when I was growing up, I always saw her. And I just used to feel endeared to her, though we never used to talk. I had a house girl, but we went and sat in the kids' bedroom. But we could not even afford a bed for the house girl. So we were seated in that mattress. And then she started telling me, you know, your husband is not happy with this. He's not happy with the way you dress. He's not happy with the way you do your hair. He's not happy with this. And in our conversation, I started wondering, if he really is my husband and you don't like my way of dressing, tell me or take me to the shop and buy me what you like. Or I know you have friends who even sell clothes. Why don't you come and tell me you don't like the way I dress? That was one. The next thing she told me, he doesn't like the way you do your hair. And by the way, Esther, I used to do my hair at Kenya Cinema. And what was so interesting is everyone likes my hair, but I don't know why he can't tell me I don't like your hair. So now my sister-in-law is coming to tell me, he tells me he doesn't like this, he doesn't like this what you do, he doesn't like this what you do. And I remember also, before I got married, I had a boyfriend, a very good friend of mine. We were very close. And my sister-in-law kept on asking, so where did your friend go? I said, I don't know.
And you're already married to the
Yes. I said, he went to the army. And I realized she really wanted to push that conversation. And I realized there's a way, it's like she's trying to seep information, get information from me. But I didn't realize. And you know me, I would just talk because I am thinking, We are family. So after that, she left. And I began to, and when my husband came in the evening, but again, I can't talk about because I discovered from way early enough, his family is very sacred to him. You don't ask. So from there, we started having, you know, his extended family. They are so close to him. And this extended family, in this extended family, there was a man in the extended family. And one day he just told me, by the way, so-and-so is coming and he will be living with us. And he's a man. And we have a 2-bedroom house. So I asked, where will he be sleeping? He'll be sitting in the sitting room. And mind you, at that time when this guy was coming, the garage was doing well. We had actually gone to some place in Kamulu, Joska, some side that side. And we had seen a land. This guy was selling to us, I think, a whole acre of land for 250,000. Wow. And we were in the process. We went, saw that land, we saw it was good. We were in the process. He was thinking of buying. But now this relative has been brought. And I was like, surely, why are you bringing a man to live with us in the house? Where will he be sleeping? And I remember I was feeling very uncomfortable. And our problems began there. He started saying, I don't like his people. And I'm thinking, you know, this man doesn't go anywhere most of the times. I'm leaving this man with my house girl. So at one time I come and I find him seated with the house girl and I'm thinking, oh my God, what is happening? And I began, you know, we are women and you can see there is something that is happening. And I was not happy. So from there it started problems. And then he came and told me, no, we want to start a honey business. And this guy went, I think, to Isipe, and he was trained. And now if I keep a business with this guy, we can do what? We can grow it, and I can get resources. I said, what about the land? And he said, so what happened is, he said, on Sunday, we're going to go and see that land. And we went with this guy. But I'm telling you, Esther, that was the end of the land. When he came, he started saying, now, where is that you are buying? What is that kind? What is that? What? And I'm telling you, Esther, the other day I passed there, the same land. Oh my goodness, you will not believe. The place has grown. We would be having an acre there. Yes. And right now, the 50 by 100 plot right now is about 1 point something. So this guy came and that was the end of that business. They set up the honey business. Then they took it to the garage. He was doing honey in the garage. But one day after the wrangles, and I don't know what happened, he kept on complaining, I'm giving this guy money. I don't know what this guy is doing with money. One day we just came and the guy had moved everything they had invested, even the machines and everything. He had removed them and taken them to his house in Mlolongo. So I started feeling, now I'm feeling threatened because even his extended family, they don't have boundaries. This man has no boundaries in our home. There are no boundaries in our marriage. And I remember even, I became so disorganized. The whole marriage was so disorganized because now there are so many people coming. And now, me, I had grown up in town. Me, I speak English. And it's very rare. I rarely speak my mother tongue. And it's maybe right now, because now I live a place where they are always speaking our mother tongue. But I never used to do that. So I could see these people, there's a way they feel I'm proud. There's a way they are looking at me. But I cannot tell my husband because these are his people. And so I will tell you, that is where our problems began. The moment he allowed his people into our marriage, that is where the problems began.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
So life went on like that. It became good and it became sweet. We bought our place. We started. Now let me tell you the story of our house. We went and located a plot. Some Masais came and told us kuna plot pahali. So we went and got that plot. And we struggled and he paid for it. Actually, he bought 2 at the same time. So when the plot had already been, was now ours, we went and held hands and we prayed. and we told God, you have given us a home. We were so excited. So the next thing, we stayed and we are paying rent at the same time. And sometimes we are unable to pay rent. So he would tell me, every time you go, please pray. Pray because we need to build. And I'm telling you, one time he woke up in the night and he said, today I did something and I have like 20,000. I have like 20,000 in the account. Now, this 20,000, I'm thinking, why don't we start with this 20,000 building our house? And imagine, Esther, we went, looked for this, that place is clay soil. We went, looked for the people who removed the soil, but we don't even have money to buy the stones. But every day we kept praying. We go there, we hold hands, we pray, and God came through for us. We built the house, and we built now the first floor. When we got to the first floor and we finished the shell itself, so we sat down and we decided, why are we paying rent? Why do we need to pay rent? That 16,000 we are paying for a 2-bedroom house, we can come here and we are going to develop here when we are inside. Now let me tell you the interesting thing. We entered that house, it did not have tiles. I used to wake up and sweep the house and pour water. And then we didn't even, I think he bought tiles, our first tiles, and then he put a toilet. It's not the one for sitting on, it's the one for squatting. So that is what we started with. So I remember when we moved in, it was like a hall, because now it's a bigger house than where we were. Now our problems now started when my mother-in-law came. And I remember that day she came, she entered the gate, she's like, wow, and she entered and she went to the bedrooms and she discovered now our room, our bedroom. She asked, where is your bed? And we didn't have tiles. But me, that never bothered me. I would still sweep, and we didn't even have wardrobes. So on the side you have swept, and then we had some plastics, a plastic carpet we would put, and then now I would put all our clothes. I'd panga them nicely, yes. And I had a house girl who was also helping me out, because I was working at that time. So I'm working, and I used to work for a TV station, a Christian TV station. And I'm really working hard. And when you're working in a TV station, the working hours differ. Sometimes we have a early morning program, so you have to leave very early. And in the evening, you have to come back about 10. But there are also now those other flexible hours that you can be able to do so much. So I remember when my mother-in-law opened the gate, and I could see she's very, she's like, my God, you mean we can get here? So she was very excited. And she came. And she said, oh, what is lacking? And we said, our bedroom doesn't have tiles. Do you know she's the one who gave us money? We went, we called somebody to come and buy the tiles of our bedroom. Now, the person who came to put the tiles came and put the tiles badly. And I don't know, from there, I developed some fear, inside fear, that I'm not understanding what this fear is. So later, I think about the second or third day, he called somebody else, and they came, they removed all the tiles, and now he bought new tiles, and they put new tiles. When we were still renting, we used to come to the house and say, the day it finishes, we are going to go and get our pastor, and he's going to come and pray for our house. And, we were excited to have a Thanksgiving, just to show, like what the Lord can do. What God can do. I don't know at what point my husband changed things. And we moved, and he started now slowing down the pace, the excitement, and something started happening that I could not understand.
How about the prayer
now,
life?
he was not, he now became something different. He was different now. I think it was on a Wednesday. He called me and told me, by the way, the house is coming to be prayed for. And I said, by who? He said, my sister is coming over with her pastor to pray for our house.
Jesus.
And I was like, what do you mean? This is our house. We've had dreams. We have had, but the gap between me and him was 12 years. So there are times I could not ask. There are questions I could not ask because I felt he's responsible. He knows what he's doing. And I'm there, and I don't have a say. After we built that house, now I discovered now it's like it is him. And today when I look back, every time I wanted a change in the house, he would tell, no, you sit down. I'm the one who is building the house. I have always dreamt of having a house. So this house, I'm gonna build it to my specification. So my sister-in-law, she came with her pastor, and we made lunch, and we sat down and we ate. And after that, they started praying for the house. They came with anointing oil, and they are putting everywhere. They are anointing the house. They came to my bedroom, they anointed the house. They went to the kids' bedroom, they anointed the house. Now when they were entering my bedroom, I was standing at the door. So they anointed the bed and everywhere they could touch. After the pastor came from the bedroom, she found me at the corridor. And she told me, let me tell you, if this house is yours, you will stay. And if this man is your husband, you will stay. But if he is not, I don't see you staying here.
Wait, Carol.
Yes.
When they were coming, they were not coming about the marriage. They were coming to dedicate the house.
Thank you.
So this issue of now turning to you, if God is not for this marriage,
Yes.
you will leave. And they prayed over that?
Oh, they were praying for the house. And they were actually in my bedroom. They had finished my bedroom, so they were out there. And she said, if this marriage, if you are not meant to be, you will not be.
Was your husband there also?
No, he was not there. He was actually in the sitting room.
And you didn't tell them, like you didn't answer them, and because you could have said something.
I did not. Esther, there was a way my husband was very intimidating. And then there is a way he has always believed his sister. Anything the sister says, it is true. And he cannot he cannot go against his sister. So I'm sure she's the one who called and said, we are coming with my pastor to dedicate the house. And I did not understand why the pastor told me that. But now the other fear that I had earlier came back again. And I felt a lot of fear. And I wondered, so what has made you think that we are not meant for each other? What has made you think that we were never meant to be? So those questions kept on coming. And they anointed the house. They went upstairs. They anointed the roof. They came down. And after that, they came, we prayed, and they left.
But did you tell your husband what they said?
Let me tell you, anything to do with his sister or his mother, if you tell him, he would get very offended.
Okay.
He will get it, and now you will look like the enemy. So me, I never told him anything. But that fear, I used to have a lot of fear in my heart. And I remember sometimes he used to have a lot of money. And he would come and put the money there. And he'll tell me, let's go for shopping, maybe on Sunday. And we would go and shop. And now things began to change. He wants to buy himself something. He wants to buy himself a watch. He wants to buy himself this. He wants to buy... And I used to ask him, what about me? So now I started fading out of...
His life.
Somehow I started fading. Yeah. And I remember there is also a way I actually started struggling. I was working in a TV station. I am earning. But now I am struggling because when we were building the house, there's a time I told him, I want to also help. So what I'll be doing, I'll be buying food in the house. Then you can pay school fees, you can buy uniform, you can buy the children everything. And that is how we started. But I realize now, so I would buy a lot of food for a month or even 2. I remember I would go and find nice sufurias, I would find nice things, I would buy. So now the burden of shopping was not on him. So he was able to finish the house and until where we got. But now after the house we have entered, nothing changed. The burden was still on, the buying of food was still on me. And I remember we started a chama with my friends from college. Now, this is where the true thing, I started realizing something is off. So normally what would happen, I would finish what I'm doing. He told me, just finish whatever you're doing. I go to the garage. I'm expecting someone to bring me some money. There was no M-Pesa at that time. So you pass by the garage And once you pass by the garage, I'll give you the money, and then I'll drop you. And that is the life that will. He will always drop me wherever I need to go. And there was that love. And so this day when we were having a chama, so me, I left home, I went to the garage, and as I was waiting for my husband, I went to sit with the mother. And I told her, oh yes, I've come. He's supposed to give me 2,000 for chama, because that year, even when that money for chama comes, we use it together. You know, like the last one that I had, the last chama that I had, we had bought window panes, we had bought the glasses and everything. So we used to do things together like that. So after I talked to the mother, then me, I left. Then he came and started to talk to the mother. Do you know even him giving me that 2,000 after that? He was so agitated. He was so angry. He just threw the 2,000 at me. He didn't even drop me. And I'm telling you, it's like something had instantly just happened in that. And then she made a comment. You mean he's giving you 2,000 for chama? Me, he never gives me money. He can't give me. And I said, ma'am, but he gives you money. No, at Nimpigi, I tell him that I have a chama. He can't give me money for chama. Okay. So me, I finished. And I went for my chama, but he didn't come and pick me up. And actually, his mom at that time had retired. And she said, my husband at that time wanted to start a small restaurant in the garage. And we had actually started. That was another source of income. But when she retired, she said she wants to be in that garage. And so I was like, okay, yeah, mom is retiring. So where is mom going? And remember, we had built some rentals in Kitengela. And so she went there. She took 4 of the rentals because they were double rooms. And she converted them to be her house. And now she has already come and she has taken the restaurant. And actually, my husband didn't want. He didn't want. He was not for the idea. So she used me to push the agenda. So I kept asking my husband, you people, what do you want your mother to do? It is okay if she comes there. Now, there is a time, we were just having a conversation, and he told me, do you know my daughter has never given me money? Ever since, she has never given me money. So I was like, okay. And she used to complain. I think my daughter doesn't like me. And it's true, because when now my mother-in-law had to come and tell me to talk to my husband, I found it weird. Why can't she just talk to the son? So I remember mentioning it to my mom, and I told my mom, I don't understand these people, mom. You know, my mother-in-law tells me the daughter cannot give her money with her hand. So my mother told me, leave those people alone. Your mother, whether she's a witch, she's a thief, she's a what, you accept your mother the way she is.
Yes.
So I had my mother's idea. And I thought, by the way, I don't think this is good. I don't like the way they are treating their mother. So when I went, I was having another conversation with my sister-in-law. And she told me, do you know, Carol, my mother is not good. I cannot even give my mother money with my hands. And I remember there's a time, I think it was her 60th birthday, and her daughter gave her 1,000 shillings. And she was so excited, something she has never done. So I used to find these people very weird. Why would you? Me, I don't even have a problem. I can give my mother my ATM card and tell her go and withdraw 3,000, 4,000, and she will do exactly that. No more, no less, and bring me back there. So I started thinking these people don't like their mother. They don't like their mother at all. And I'm going to change this. I must make them see their mother as somebody
and
different.
Love their mother.
And love their mother and treat her better. So she used me, and then she came to the garage, she started. But one time she made a comment. And she told me, Carol, do you know, your husband does not listen to me. Even if I try to tell him anything, he never listens to me. I want to come to that garage. I stay near him. I want to hold him. And I want to make sure that we can work together. Me, I didn't know what that meant. And I'm thinking, yes, ma'am. Yes, come. In fact, these people are not doing the right thing. I'm telling myself, yeah, these people need to recognize their mother. So after that, the mother came and set up, the restaurant was already set up. She took over the restaurant and started cooking. Interestingly, she hired 2 girls who came to the restaurant. And when now they came to the restaurant, they were very close to the mother. For some reason, they were very close to the mother.
We are learning a lot. One thing I've learned about the situation of Carol, as the Bible says, God created a man and a woman and he blessed them. So when a man and a woman are together, the Lord is going to bless them. Another thing I've learned, as the Bible says, that a man shall leave his mother and father and join to the wife. So if you're there as a man and you're not leaving your family to be joined with your wife, then that is where now the problems start. Join us in our next program. This one, you cannot miss it. It's becoming more and more interesting, and I know that you will love it. Welcome.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
Welcome back to Carol's story. We've heard all where Carol has come from. She came from a very good family, and her expectations were very high. And it's normally happen when you're coming out from that background, you always expect a lot. And also she shared about even how she began her marriage and her foundation with God, because both of them were born again, and how the in-law interfered with her marriage. But I want to tell you, marriages are attacked, and it began from the Garden of Eden. And every marriage will go through this. But how are we going to overcome this? Carol, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Esther. So Esther, by this time, when we got now married and we have settled, my husband's spiritual life had totally deteriorated. There was really, you will see, even when you tell him to pray, he doesn't want to pray, because I think he's so mixed up, he doesn't know what to tell God. Now, I want to point out something. We have 3 children. When I was expecting my children, he used to speak to the children. He used to speak to them. Until when I get that child, and let me tell you, every child that I gave birth to, the first child, he was there. The second child, he was very concerned. But now the third child, something had happened.
And then, Carol, I would want to, something that you told me.
Yes.
About, because that is very important, especially a man, when he's praying over his children, when they're inside you. Tell us about that story.
Now, that is very interesting, because every time he would touch my tummy and the child is there, every time he started praying, the child will start moving. And there's a noise that he would always make in the house. You know, he's a very excited person. People used to really admire us because we do so much together. And every time he comes to hospital and he would just make that sound, and the child would be like, oh, like this. And the child is just a day old. And the children would get so excited. And let me tell you, Esther, I'm not the type of person who doesn't appreciate. I used to work, and I had a day job, and I would wake up at 5 o'clock to go to work. But I have never woken up to feed a child. My husband was a father.
Oh, he was
and
a
to
good
all of them,
father.
even when things were not working out, he was a father. He would before we go to bed in the evening, he would carry the milk bottles. And that is the time when, even when the child was breastfeeding and the child cries, he will wake up himself, pick the child, bring the child to breastfeed. And once I've breastfed, I give him the child. He knows how to burp the child. And the moment the child gets into the father's hands, those children, they will not talk, they will not cry. Even the times when they have colic, he had a way with his children, and they were very tight. So even, I always tell people, I don't know, in the morning he would wake up, he would make sandwiches for the children. He's the one who knew how to make snacks for them to carry. He's the one who knew how to make natural juices. He knew how to do everything. And so that was the exciting part. And that's the thing that always kept me holding on. Because I know he's a good person.
He is,
I know
and he
he's a
was.
dedicated parent. And so that is what kept me going. I remember when my mother-in-law was told that I'm expecting the third born, she called me Actually, I just went to the garage and I found her. So she's like, why are you getting a third baby? Another third baby is, what is a third baby for?
So, Caro, she was the one now who was controlling
Yes.
your family, your marriage.
Now she has come to the garage. She's the one who is controlling. And she's like, why are you guys getting a third baby? Now, I realize the firstborn is named after her. The second born, because she was not married, was now given the name of my husband. Now, she has a problem with the third baby because it is now going to be called my mother. And at this time, she had this hatred for my mother. And why? Because there's a time now my husband became so, we had so many fights. So many fights. And there's a time my husband beat me up seriously, and took me home in the night. Took me home in the night. Of course, because when you are angry, you are abusing each other. We had abused each other. Yeah, and he'll tell me you're stupid, you are foolish, and all those things people do, we did. So he beat me up. He took me at 2 a.m. Took me home all the way, dropped me at the, not even at the gate. He dropped me at the road, and then he packed, I took my bags, and I went home 2 a.m. in the night. When I knocked, my parents were like, my God, what is happening? I've been beaten, I have black eyes, and stuff like that.
Did he tell you that he was taking you back at your place?
No, we just fought, and then told me, enter the car, enter the car, enter the car.
To where?
I'm taking you to your home. Now you can't refuse. See, now that is what he has intended to do, and it's 2 a.m. in the night. So he drove all the way. And by 4 a.m., what he did, he went back. It's like something used to come on him, and then he realizes there's something wrong he has done. He packed the children's clothes, packed them, packed sleeping bags, packed everything, and by 6 a.m. they're on their way to Mombasa. He is now taking the children to Mombasa. So they went to the beach, they camped, and then after a few days, I went to my sister's house. So when we were there, in the morning, I get a call. And who is on the call? Caro Mutuko. And Caro tells me, is your name Caro? I said, yes. Now, there's somebody on the line who wants to talk to you. He wants to apologize.
Wow.
On air. So me, I pick up the phone, and he's like, Caro, how are you? How have you been? I said, I'm fine. I know what happened, and I'm really sorry, and I really want to apologize. And can you come back home? And immediately I was so angry. I disconnected the call and I turned it off. And I was in shock. Like, me and my sisters were looking at each other like,
what?
Your story ikakuja na ikaisha. So now they came home. The mother came home. And when she came home, they sat there. There was another relative who had also come. And what the mother started telling my parents is, you know, she doesn't know how to cook well. I think she does this. My father was very angry. And he said, let me ask you, with this kind of attitude, do you think these children will live together? And my father was very angry and told her off. So finally, they talked, and then they left. So...
Without you?
Yeah, I think, they left without me. Then later he came for me. So it did not stop there. I think she was very bitter. I know she's the kind of people who have this bitterness and very vengeful and very vicious. And that is when now they decided I cannot stay. And you know, even when I went back, now even things got worse. My husband now started moving out. And I remember one time he told me, let me tell you something, Caro. I'm only your husband when I'm in this house. In fact, when I'm in this bedroom with you. When I get out of that gate, out there, and you ever find me with a woman, don't ever ask me. I will beat you up, and you will see.
What?
Yes, that is what he told me. So all these things are happening. And there's a way he's so intimidating. I can't ask a question. But I was also very vicious. Me, I know how to defend myself. I know how to fight for myself, Esther.
Yes.
I will do anything. I will tell you everything that I have in my mind. So he started saying, oh, you are being disrespectful. Then I said, being disrespectful what? There's a time my daughter got very sick. And she got pneumonia. I'm trying to tell the father, can we take this child to hospital? And he would wake up in the night, like we had like very serious 3 nights. And he told me, no, we can't take him. Osha mtoto na maji baridi. Because now the heat, the child is going through, the temperature is rising. But he'll insist, let us, like sponge the child. And I saw the child now, the black people is beginning to turn like white. So I carried the child and I took her to the garage. When we went there, we found a doctor there. And the doctor said, what is wrong with the child? The doctor was one of the clients. I gave him the child to see like that. He told me, this child is very sick. Can you stop what you are doing right now and take the child to hospital? When I told my husband, the doctor has said we take the child to hospital, he was very annoyed. And he told me, what is your problem? We just let this child go. We can always get another one.
What?
I am telling you, that is what he said. I was so shocked. I went down outside the gate. I told our driver, tafadhali, take me to hospital. He's insisting, let him finish whatever he's doing. And this doctor is insisting, apana pelekeni mtoto hospitali, mtoto ni mgonjwa sana. I called another doctor who was a doctor in Uthiru. He told me, go to Kenyatta private wing. Do you know, by the time we got to Kenyatta private wing, the lungs of the child zilikuwa zimeingiana.
Oh, Jesus.
When we put the child there, the doctor started assessing. Nikamuliza, will this mtoto atakuwa sawa? Now, here we can't promise. We have to do whatever we can do. Now, let me tell you how God operates.
Amen.
That night, they took me, because it was in the evening, they took me to a ward in Kenyatta Hospital. And because I had a cover from my employer, when we went to the ward, I really insisted I wanted a private room. But the nurse who was there refused. He said, no, I don't want you to be in a private room. I want you to be in this general ward, which had like 8 beds. 4 on this side, 4 on this side. And then I want you to be here so that as the other doctors come to see the other children, I can ask them to look at yours. So somehow we got very, like this doctor is telling me, now you will do what I want. Because now I know this child is in danger.
Yes.
And that was the nurse. He was a man. So the nurse facilitated everything, and we were admitted, and we sat there. So he kept on, for some reason, he kept on coming to look at the child. All the time he's looking. They had to import a machine from all the way from Aga Khan Hospital to come. Then they put pipes so that they can suck out the mucus. And they began to suck out the mucus. And that nurse was, he's like, I want this child to get well. Now, what happened one night, remember, I had gotten a cesarean with this child. And by the time I was my mother-in-law was not happy with this child. So by the time I was getting this child in the hospital, my husband, the marriage was now deteriorating. He's already with this girl that we have set up. They have set up a restaurant with. He's with her now. So even coming to the hospital, ni kama kupitia anapitia. So now we are in the hospital because now of pneumonia. And this nurse, every morning he would come, even when he was off duty. So one time, I asked him, do you have a Bible? So we started talking. Do you know, it turns out, that guy, they are very close neighbors like this. Like where my mother comes from, this is their shamba, and then they are next. And everything they do, they cannot do without my mother's family. He held that child and he told me, this one, I'll make sure this child gets well.
Amen.
And I'm telling you, he took care of that child until the child got well and we got out of hospital.
Amen.
Now, this child, as we went home, it's like he never ever wanted to do anything to do with this child. He would never leave enough money in the morning. The child, he would never buy none. He would, so I had to take it. Actually, I will say, I literally took care of this child by myself.
This story of Caro is becoming more deeper and deeper. And knowing the battles that people fight in marriage. That when getting in, you don't know about the other family. But when you're there, that is when you learn more about what they do and their culture. And the way the devil is fighting marriages, even through the mother-in-law or the sister-in-law. But I would want to tell somebody who is an in-law somewhere, don't fight another woman Because if you fight your son, wife, you are fighting another marriage. And let me tell you, I normally say, when you fight that woman, you don't love your son. Because if you love your son, you would want them to be together and to build their happy marriage together, so that you become that show that their children are looking for. So please, for the next part 2 of this story, tune in, and I'm sure your life will change. Thank you for watching.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
That something else happened. Now my mother-in-law, she has retired now. She came and told me, by the way, her and her friend, they are going to Tanzania to get bed sheets. So she told me when she's going next week to get bed sheets, and she'll be bringing for me bed sheets to sell for her. Let me tell you, Esther, my mother-in-law went and brought for me a pair of bed sheets. They were red, very beautiful. They had love hearts, blue, they had green, they had white, they had yellow. Yeah, they had yellow. Yeah, they were very beautiful. And me, what I did, I was so excited. She came, and herself, my husband was not there. She told me, let us go. We put them on your bed, then you see how beautiful they are. Me, I went with her leading. She was the one leading to the bedroom. I went, I undid my bed. She came, she told me, shika hapo bed sheet. Tukaekelea kwa kitanda, tukaekelea hiyo ingine, na tukatandika kitanda na tukarudisha. So me, I was excited in the evening. My husband came and it's just like, hey, the bed looks nice. I said, yeah, mom is the one who brought for me these bed sheets. She asked me, where is mom getting the bed sheets? I told her, no, you don't know. Mom has been going to Tanzania. She's going to get bed sheets and she's coming to sell. Actually, I'll be helping her sell. And even I started selling for her through my friends where I was working. And so, I was beginning, for me, in my imagination, I was telling myself, wow, I have a good mother-in-law. Wow, she cares. Wow. And sometimes she would come home. She would pick the dolls, my daughter's dolls, and she would go with them where she was working, because they had a washing machine. And she would wash them and she would bring them. So she was so much, so much part of our lives. So a time came and we are sleeping, and he begins to tell me that the house, he's being eaten by, no, first of all, ants appeared in the compound, safari ants. And then one time he's sleeping, and then he said he's being eaten by ants. Then he started telling me, no, you're the one who's bringing ants. And I'm saying, we are in the same bed. How come you're the one being eaten by ants, and me, I'm not being eaten by ants? Safari ants. He wakes up, he removes his clothes, and there are no safari ants. And me, I don't have safari ants on my side. Finally, my husband took off, and he left us.
Whoa.
So when he took off and he left us, now tumebaki kwa nyumba, me and my children. I'm calling him. There is no power. There is no electricity. He doesn't want to pick. Esther, to tell you, one of the girls that my mother-in-law had put in the restaurant, now they have become friends, and now they are setting up the second restaurant. And once they set up that restaurant, me, I used to go there. But let me tell you what we used to do. I used to come out from work, and now we have moved to this place, Tasia. And at that time, Tasia, there was no electricity. In fact, we were one of the people who used to use generators. So we had a generator. And let me tell you, sometimes I would be very scared of walking from Feather all the way to Tasia too. And sometimes you need to take a motorbike. But that time, the motorbikes were just being introduced. So there were not many. So before a motorbike reaches you, you'll have walked a distance. And it is dark. So sometimes I used to prefer to go to his restaurant, and then we come home together, because he used to leave the restaurant at about 9. Then we come home together. Esther, I'm telling you, we would leave the restaurant, we go with the lady, a place was called Kiangombe, some place there. He would leave me outside the gate of where she lives. And outside the gate where she lives, the whole place is a plain. There were no other houses. But me, I've been left in the car. He will go there, stay there about 30 minutes in the lady's house. Then he comes back.
And by this time, you know what is happening.
I know what is happening. I am very aware what is happening. I know even they have set up the restaurant together, because he started telling me, he used to come with the money in a bag, a small bag he has put. Then when I touch that, he tells me, this money don't touch. This money is for the other house, not your house. So now he was implying that now I'm completely with this woman and we are building something together. So I was like, okay, now I don't know what to do. But of course, now we are fighting and I am asking God, what do I do? I have seen the reality of my marriage. My mother-in-law now, there's a lot of hatred. My mother-in-law would come. She would even cook, or she would come with food that is cooked and she would put it in my fridge. And she will come with chicken, she will cook. And when we are in the kitchen cooking, she will tell me, you don't know how to cook for my son. And she would talk and she will talk. And let me teach you how a man is treated, And she wasn't, and that time I started feeling she's not doing it for good. There is something very weird. So there's a house girl she brought for me. And she told the house girl, I don't trust this woman. I think she can kill my son. I want you to take care of this house and take care of this, of my son, because I have watched you and I think you are a good girl, and I'll tell my son to marry you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. That time we had not even moved to our new house. Yes.
So the girl told you?
So how I got to find out is now the girl told the mother. And the mother called and said, can I talk to that woman? And the mother of the girl is the one who told me. And she told me that is the reason I have to withdraw my daughter from there. I don't want her to work in that environment. And that is how the girl went. Yes. Do you know one time he came and he told me, my mother's fridge has gotten spoiled. He came and took the fridge from the house. Yes, and that is the fridge that we normally use. And remember, he has given me the entire issue of food is in my hands. So I have to budget, I have to boil cereals, put in the freezer so that we are now able to eat. But now he has taken the fridge. And even the mother would come and tell me, hey, when my son comes, sometimes I have to make for him cheese. He's made for cheese. He's made for sandwiches. He's made for nice things. The mother sometimes even bakes and then brings them from home, or I don't know what. She really now, she has gotten him, She is now treating him so specially.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, he's being treated so well. Now he doesn't care about his home anymore. Now remember, he has another restaurant.
Yes.
So the mother will make for him breakfast and lunch. In the evening, he will go to that restaurant and he's going to go there and eat. So now, Sasa, when he comes to my house, what is he coming to do? He's coming to sleep. He doesn't care. We don't have a fridge. He doesn't care what we ate. He doesn't care what the children ate. He now totally doesn't care. And so things became so bad. I remember I used to cry, Esther. I used to go to the office and I would sit on my machine and try to edit. I can't. But that was the time, Esther, God began to speak to me.
Amen.
And God began, and he would speak to me very clearly in my mind. I would hear. And one day I asked God, Father, tell me, is it that I am being paranoid, or is there something between my husband and one of these girls? He would always come with his phone, and there's a place where he would keep it. And then he would pick his phone and go with it to the bathroom. But then he put a password, so he would leave the phone over there. So I started praying and I telling God, God, show me what is wrong with my marriage. Is my husband with this girl? Believe you me, Esther, after telling God that, I dreamt the PIN number of that phone. Yes. I dreamt the PIN number, clearly the PIN number of that phone.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning when I woke up, he went to the bathroom. I keyed in the PIN number and it opened. And that was my evidence God had given me.
Amen.
And God put it in my heart strongly, begin to pray for your marriage. My mother-in-law now, there's a lot of hatred. Even he says, he started saying, my mother and my sister hate my wife so much, and my wife hates them. But let me tell you, me, I did not hate them because I didn't know there was something that was being stirred up. And somebody came with some books, and one was written, How to Beat Your Husband. How to Beat Your In-Laws. People know those books. I think they are by somebody, some Nigerian person. Yeah. So at that time, people were reading them. But you see, when you see How to Beat Your Husband, it is not beating physically. It's now how to fight the battles in your marriage, not physically, but spiritually.
Sure.
So somebody came and gave me those books. And I came home with them. And let me tell you, when he saw those books, How to Beat Your Husband, he went and told them. He
The
went,
mother and the
yes,
sister.
he went until now she's even buying books on how to beat you people. So I'm telling you, it was crazy, the hate, and that family, when they hate you, they hate you with tangible hatred. The hatred is tangible. So I remember a time came and I thought, now, why do we hate each other? What is all this? And then by that time now, my spiritual life had begun now to go to another level. I was the first lady among my friends to get married. So when they are getting married, they are coming to me. Caro, where did you buy your gown? Where did you do this? I want to plan my marriage, this. And some of them were now already in marriage. And they were having problems in their marriage. So they would come to me, and for some reason, I'd give them advice. Me, I thought the best thing to do, because I don't know why everyone is looking up to me to pray for their marriages. I think now the best thing for me to do is to be inviting a marriage counselor, or I invite a pastor to come and talk to us. So that's what I used to do. It started small, and it was growing. And then my mother-in-law started. How many? What are all those prayers? Those prayers, there are so many. Why do you have to keep on praying? What is it that you are praying for?
Hiya.
What is it that you are keeping on praying?
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
Welcome back to our part 2. I can't wait to hear where this story is ending. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Esther, it is so... I don't know why I get excited telling my story.
Yes.
And yet, when I tell it to people, people get very emotional and very sad. But for me, I said, the Bible says, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, Esther, for me to get here, I have cried over it. I think there is nothing I have not done to get to this level where I can open up and speak it. And I can tell you, I am not bitter. I have gone through pain. I have gone through depression. I have gone through anything that you want to call it. And I'm telling you, who I am today is who God has refined.
Amen.
And I believe I am refined. For me to be able to tell this story so that I allow another person to listen to my experience and learn from it.
Sure.
So I want to call this bit demonic networks in marriage. And let me tell you, when the devil has purposed to harm your marriage, I am telling you, he uses a network. A cousin of mine tells me, hey, we met with another cousin so-and-so. And I was talking to her. And I was just telling her, hey, by the way, I hear you guys, Caro had a very good wedding. Now, that cousin was very angry. And she said, Ati, I hear what? Ati, she had let me tell you, we will see if she will stay in that marriage.
Jesus.
We will see if she will stay in that marriage. Now, this cousin of mine lived in the same vicinity with my sister-in-law. Now, in this whole mix, my cousins were not, there was this fight. And then my cousin, now they have joined together with my sister-in-law. Now, when I come home and we are having a discussion with my husband, and he would abuse me and tell me things about our home. For instance, there's a time he used to tell me, let me tell you something, utanikalia, you will not sit on me the way your mother has sat on your father. So I used to wonder, where are these stories coming from? And he would abuse me and tell me, yeah, I heard this about your family. I heard this about your family. You people are very rotten. You know, a lot of that thing now was beginning to crawl into the marriage. And me, I did not understand where all this was coming from. But one thing that I knew, my sister-in-law would call my husband and tell him that, can we get chicken and we make for dinner and you come? Already my husband is convinced I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook this. You know, you like putting spices in food. You like putting Royco in food. And I tell him, but even your sister, when we go there, she puts Royco in food. And he will say, no, my sister doesn't put Royco. And imagine I was in the sister's kitchen. I was the one seeing how she's cooking.
Yes.
And I know she puts Royco. But because he wants to justify why I cannot cook and the sister can cook better, he will always, there's nothing my husband ever saw good in me. Let me just say that.
Yes.
Nothing that he ever saw good in me. And imagine, my sister-in-law lives in Uthiru. But she has called my husband to come and eat chicken all the way from Mombasa Road. And we live in Tasia. So he will drive all the way at night. He will lock the garage, drive all the way to Uthiru, go have dinner there, and then drive all the way back to Tasia. And then when he comes, of course, he's full. Then he will touch the food like, now what is this? What is this you have cooked? He totally disregarded my cooking. So it was crazy. You know, there's a battle here, there's a battle. Remember, they are making chicken in their, my sister-in-law is cooking chicken and calling my cousin who doesn't like us. And they will go there, discuss about my family. My husband is come home, he's now abusing me. He's now being eaten by safari ants in the bed, invisible safari ants. I was just walking at some place just near home, and there's this guy who had brought shirts, very nice shirts, and my husband happens to like shirts that have prints on them. So I went, and this guy was selling per shirt 250 shillings. I remember I took about 6 shirts, and then I took them, bought them, brought them home with me in a paper bag. So I entered my sister-in-law's house. Do you know when she saw the shirts, she pulled the paper bag. And it's like, what is it? What are those? And you know, these are shirts. I've just gone up there. There's another guy who sells nice shirts and have bought. Do you know, shamelessly, she was really struggling. You know, she doesn't want the brother to touch those shirts. In fact, she's even making gestures. Don't touch those shirts. I think, you know, like we have done, I bought these shirts. We had bought them and we have done witchcraft on them. And so she's really struggling that the brother shouldn't take these shirts. Now, what she doesn't know when we got home, my husband is like, but my sister says, she's weird. Now, how can these shirts be having witchcraft? But I think she called him. And then the guy used to wear the shirts. So now he doesn't know where to fall. He knows his wife can't do that.
Yes.
He knows I cannot do such a thing. So he's wearing the shirts. Na huku amekatazwa kuvaa hizo shirts. Let me tell you. Another time, he came home and he says, now we are going to have a joint account. And all your money will be good. Why? Because he has had my mother is building a house. And now he's begun to be told that all my salary and my money, I am taking home for my mother to build. Now he wants us to have a joint account so that I can be asking him for money. So that the money that I am earning does not go to build my mother a house. The ATM for that account we had was always in his pocket, in his wallet. And I started telling God, please provide. Trust me, Esther, I dreamt the PIN number of the ATM.
Hey, amen.
Yes. I went and withdrew money. And that is how my journey with God began.
Amen.
Amidst all these problems, that is where God began to clearly speak to me. And I could tell it was God. It can never be a human being.
Yes.
Already, because of these struggles I'm going through, I have already talked to my mom. And my mom is telling me, Caro, these are the struggles people go through in marriage. Because I've also gone through the struggles in marriage. So please don't leave your marriage. If you need me to help you, I'll be bringing food. Actually, what my mother would do would send me 3,000. And there was a cereal shop there. I would go buy dengu, buy beans, buy kamande, buy all those things and bring them. And sometimes my mother would make this traditional porridge. And she would put it in the car. And they would go to a lady who sells cereals at home. She will call me at the shop. Caro, what do you want? This and this. She will park in the car with my dad. On their way, they will come and drop in my house. So there was always, my parents tried to save my marriage. They even tried to chip in because they were saying maybe why you people are having problems in your marriage is because of finances. So they were always ready to chip in.
This story is exciting it is sad. And I don't know why women are fighting one another. But it's so sad that your mother-in-law or your sister can come together to fight their son's marriage because it is their son's marriage. And Carol have gone through a lot, even without knowing. Because sometimes we need to be very, very, very sensitive of what is happening. But when you're in deep problem, sometimes you don't see exactly what is happening. Please, we are continuing with this story, and don't miss out in our next program. Thank you.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
Welcome back to part 3 of Carol's story. It's a very interesting story, and this is what people are going through in marriages. But I love the part of a woman, that a woman can rise up again. And when Carol started, he started with that they were born again and they loved God. And in the middle, the enemy came. But now Carol is back with God, and she became a prayerful woman who stood with her children. And Carol continued telling us this story.
Yes, Esther. So at this time, things have become very difficult for me. And the war has even escalated because the man now, he's not taking care of us. He's not taking care of the children. He doesn't even eat at home. I never got married, and I ever thought that one day I'll be separated from him. Because to me, he gave the comfort of a friend. He gave the comfort of a lover. He gave the comfort of a father. He gave me that comfort, and it made me feel good. He was so much fun to be with. You know, sometimes we would go out and camp. And now, during this time, I realized I don't remember a time where ever had our own time together. There was never. He would never find it necessary. So I started seeing this, the whole scenario is different. When my birthday comes, I'm the one who is insisting, please, I need to be taken out for dinner. I need to be done for something. I need a cake. I am telling you, Esther, there were no birthdays. There was nothing that was ever done for me. And in fact, when I pushed so much, I remember one time he took me to Java, and he told me, I only have 1,500 shillings, and you don't eat anything beyond 1,500 shillings. And imagine we are seated. They asked him, okay, so now how are we going to share this 1,500? And he told me, I'm not eating. One time he called a guy who was buying flowers, asked him, hizi unauza pesa ngapi? He said, I'm selling these ones for a bunch was like 200. He bought the bunch and dumped it on me and said, take, because I don't want you to ever say that I never bought you flowers. And you could see the anger in him, like, why are you making me do this? You've made me drive all the way from Mombasa Road to come to town and sit you down in Java and buy you dinner because it is your birthday. So anything that he was to do for me, it would anger him. It would elicit. He never liked my people, because even when he wants to do a birthday for the daughter, he will talk to the daughter, and maybe it is Sunday, he would go out, buy a cake and bring it back, and then we'll call the children outside there and have, you know, every good thing that was in the marriage dried up. And I remember this now escalated even to worse. There's a time my his brother-in-law actually was getting married. And we went to the house. And after the wedding, we went to his sister's place to shower. Do you know, Esther, I'm coming out of her bathroom with a towel. And she looked at me and she said, God, you know, you are very ugly. What did my brother ever see in you?
Oh, no.
You mean this is what my brother sees every morning? Now, if you want to know, this was a network, and they had sat down and discussed it. Another time, the same period, my mother-in-law told me, my son, used to walk around with very beautiful girls. And she told me, I remember there's a time my son was in Avenue Hospital, and all the nurses there, the way they were educated, they came to talk to me. They really wanted to marry my son. You know, they wanted to marry my son. You know, out of the girlfriends, my son used to introduce me to, Karo, you are the ugliest.
Oh,
you
no.
Hata uwezi onana na hao wasichana. Those girls were good looking.
And you just kept quiet.
And I kept quiet. I kept quiet. So now it came another time, and he's in bed. It is his time now to go and take the shower, but he had delayed because he was making a few calls in bed. And me, I come with my towel and I'm oiling myself. And he looks at me and he tells me, gosh, Karo, do you know out of all the women that I have had in my life, you are the ugliest. These people, what they did, they worked on my self-esteem.
And they were all together.
Yes, and they were all together. Him, his sister, and his mother. And they tormented me, and I'm telling you, Esther, I began to see myself ugly. I began to hate myself. If you would see me going to work, I'm working at a TV station, but sometimes I go to work and I have not even ironed my clothes. And I cannot see that I have not ironed. I had 2 jeans, and I would wear those 2 jeans the whole week. The only thing I would change is the tops and the shoes. There is no day we ever traveled anywhere, me and my husband alone. He would never allow that. So me, the frustration is, I really want to make my marriage work. I want us to go out and have time to talk together. But then we don't have that time because he will not allow, he will not permit that time. Yeah. So it so happened that we planned a trip to Zanzibar, all the way to Zanzibar. And his friends were also coming. When we took the children to the mother was, you could see she's not happy. Why should you people be going out? And then why are you leaving for me the children? My mother-in-law looked at my son. This is the son that the day he was born, my husband came to the hospital and he said, for sure, this is my son. He looks like me, and this is my son. Do you know that day when we were leaving to go to Zanzibar, my mother-in-law looked at my son and said, this boy doesn't look like anybody in this family.
Oh, Jesus.
And he said, if you look at this boy clearly, this boy has not even one thing that identifies with you. The mother needs to tell us, where did she get this boy?
Jesus.
Yes. And she repeated again, the mother should tell you where she got this boy.
That was evil.
That was very evil. Now, the story that I later had is, look at this boy and look at the ex-boyfriend. Don't they look alike? My mother-in-law, my sister-in-law kept on feeding, kept on feeding. Their intention was to make sure that we separate. And I'm telling you, my husband he changed. He looked like a lion. And I knew here he's going to hit me or something is going to happen. But anyway, we left the kids there, and that is how our trip to Zanzibar was destroyed. Yes, we went. The next morning, he actually wanted me to go to the bus stop in town and then go to Zanzibar with his friends. And let me tell you, in the night, it's like I am dreaming and God is giving me the scenario of what is about to happen. So in the morning, I woke up and he's telling me, you take a matatu, go with them and be there, then me, I'm coming. I said, I am not going. He said, I want to get to the workshop. I want to do something. Then and it's very early in the morning. You're wondering, why does he have to pass through the workshop? He doesn't need to pass through the garage.
Yes.
So I refused. And until we left the garage together, we went until to the bus, and we were almost left by the bus. Actually, I remember we ran after the bus. And I'm telling you, throughout that was the worst trip we ever went to. And for me, I was so mad. You know, when your mother said that your son doesn't belong to you, why didn't you stand with me?
Yes.
Why could you not tell your mother that the day you came to hospital, to see your son, you spoke it with your mouth and you said, this is your son? Why is it that then that you have stood with your mother? Why did you get angry with me? Is it that you believed? And everything looked normal, but the trip was not normal. during that trip, I got very, very sick, Esther. I got very sick. And do you know my husband mistreated me in that trip? Everybody in the trip, my stomach is aching. We were coming back and my stomach was aching. I'm telling you, all the others, even they have their wives there, they're like, hey, Carol's stomach is aching. They go bring, one went and brought me a stony and saying, that one, maybe it is gas, it will help relieve your stomach. Then it's not working. The other one went and bought a bitter lemon. The friends are the ones who are taking care of me, but he cannot take care of me because before we came, the mother had already messed up that trip.
Yes.
So we came back and we got home. Do you know I almost died in the house? On the way, I told him, I really must take. He told me, just buy Eno and Actol. And I bought those. When we got to the house in the morning, instead of him thinking, how do I get you to the hospital? He went to the supermarket, Naivas. He bought covers for covering books. He came and he was covering books. I was writhing in pain in the bed. It's like there was something that had been premeditated. When I was in that bed, I asked God, now what do I do? I can't walk. This guy, I'm telling him, please take me to hospital. He's not even bothered. And at that time, there was also another pastor that we were fellowshipping with. He told me, now what do I do? I told him, can you call my husband? Because I'm trying to tell him I'm sick. He's not hearing. And this guy was scared. Because another thing they told me, every time my husband would see me with a man, it would arouse this jealousy. But let me tell you, I was so innocent. I never thought I was even good enough or beautiful enough because they had already tampered with my self-esteem. I never used to think another man can even look at me twice because already they have been telling me, you are ugly, you are ugly, you are ugly. So it never occurred to me like that. So I called Alf and I told him, Alf, I'm sick and I'm so sick. So Alf got into his car and came home. Your wife just called me, she's very unwell. That is the time now he discovered things are bad and he decided to act. But Alf refused to leave me there. Alf told me, it's okay. I said, it's okay, Alf, let us go. So we left and we went to the hospital, a hospital that was near there. And by the time they are doing all the scans and everything, my appendix was, the appendix was swollen. So the doctor said, now here where we are, you need an urgent operation. You need an urgent operation. So he gave me medication. When I went home and we told him, he said, it's okay, we will go. We are not going, Esther. I slept another night. By that time, the appendix had already ruptured and now it was dripping pus in my stomach. In the morning, he took me and we went to the garage. Then there was a driver there. I told the driver, the way I'm feeling, I think I'm gonna die. Take me back to the house. I want to go and park. And I called the office and they said my insurance card will be able to pay. So I went back to the house and I took everything I had. But something very interesting happened. When we reached near the hospital, I thought, let me enter and see the doctor. When I entered, when you're going to the doctor, it had not a mirror, a window, but you could see yourself through. And I looked at myself. I stood there and I looked at myself. And I heard a voice tell me, go to the barber and cut your hair. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, Esther. But immediately, and even I went to check the doctor was not there. So I got back into the car and I told the driver, take me to that barber shop. I got to the barber shop, and I entered, and I told this guy, I had very nice hair. And I told this guy, I want to cut my hair. He said, I'm not cutting your hair. If you want me to blow, I said, cut my hair. He said, I'm not cutting. I took the scissors, I started cutting my hair myself. And that is how I cut all my hair. And then we left there, we got him from the garage, and he took me to Nairobi Hospital. And that is where I was admitted. And when I was admitted, you could see he's angry. I don't know if he wanted me to die in the house. I don't know what his intention was. But he was angry. He's not talking. He's irritated. He's everything in one. I could not understand. But anyway, I had already been admitted. Now, when I was there, the next bed to that one, there was a lady who was on that bed. Her husband was an ambassador of Rwanda to Uganda. And when I was there, I discovered here, you know, there's nowhere we can watch Christian TV. There's nowhere we can watch scriptures. There's nowhere, because that room apparently like had four private beds like this. Then I remember calling my boss and I told him, Leo, I'm in the hospital, but I wish in this room there was a satellite dish, there was a TV, because these ladies who are here, they don't know Jesus. And you know, it would be good to have that. And Leo was like, okay, let me see what we can do. And we can get that satellite dish there. That time there was, you know, we were using satellite dishes. So the next day I was able to wake up and I was able to go to their bed and to talk to that other lady. I think they were talking French. So through an interpreter, I started speaking to her about Jesus. I spoke to her. And I'm telling you, after about 30 minutes talking and talking, she gave her life to Christ.
Amen.
And after that, the next, after 3 days, they were released. Actually, the wife had cancer of the stomach. They were released and they went. When they went, so me, I was left in the hospital. And I was also discharged. But when I got home, I was like, God, I'm so disappointed. And the way, God, we have walked with you this journey, the way the struggles I have had in my marriage, the way I have been hated in this marriage, the way my husband has rejected me, why did you allow me to go through that? My spirit, I hear very well. And he told me, my daughter, I took you to the best hospital in town. And he told me, by the way, the person who operated on me is the same doctor who operated on Kibaki, our late ex-president, Kibaki. And he said, I gave you the best doctor in town. And then when I went there, interesting enough, Esther, the anesthetist who came to do the anesthesia was my husband's client at the garage. And he was called Dr. I think he was called Dr. Maingi. And I called him Dr. Maingi. Then he said, oh, it is you. Yes, yes, let me take care of you. And he took care of the anesthesia. Then I asked God, now why did, then God told me, even what was removed, the appendix was removed. And he told me, even what was removed from you, you can't survive without. And I said, God, then why did I go there? And he told me, the reason why I took you there was for just that one soul of that Rwandese woman who doesn't know Jesus. And she gave her life to Christ.
Amen.
And I sat down and I was asking God, why then am I at home? Because I am like, I'm not healing. And the process has gotten so long. And the HR is calling me, how come you are not healed? People go through appendicitis operation and they come back within 1 week. I am now in the 2nd week. And God told me, because after all you have gone through, I needed to give you rest.
Amen.
God of wonders, He is a God of wonders, miracles, signs, and wonders.
This is too much of somebody going through, especially now in your marriage where you are hated by the people you got married to, your husband and the relative, and nobody is standing with you. It's like you are alone. But I thank God, Carol, you became more deeper in the Lord and God started even speaking to you. Karibu sana, Carol.
Asante, Esther. So when I went back to work, but things got even worse, Esther. Now here we have at this moment, now there are relatives who now keep on coming in. They walk into our, and they are extended family members. They come to my house and they go. I'm not even aware. He will just come home with them. One time my husband came home and he told me, you know, Carol, when I look at you, I think when you get a lot of money, one day you will leave me. And I wondered, why should I leave you? I have never had such a thought. No. You see, if you get a job like in Nation or KTN, where they're giving you 100,000 plus, what will happen? You will leave me. And I said, okay, I didn't know how to defend myself.
Okay.
I could not stand up and tell him, no, you are lying, and then, no, I can't. Because also, there's an inner fear that I used to have
Yes.
about him. There's a time we had a fight with him, such a bad fight, that now they had to call. When I called my mother and my mother-in-law and I told her we are fighting about another lady, you know, she called my sister-in-law and they discussed it. And then my sister-in-law the next Sunday, she came with their pastor, the same pastor. They came with their pastor. And when they came to the house with the pastor was, after listening to the stories and everything, so they told my husband to go. Then they told me, you are the problem in your marriage. You are the one who is causing your husband to go out. I don't know, you are like this, you are like that. They really now, they turned the whole blame to be on me. And so I didn't know what to do. I was so stressed. I was so frustrated. Nobody is for me in this marriage. And this man is already telling me that if I get a lot of money, then I'll do what? I am going to leave him. So I wondered, now, where am I standing? So I remembered, there is one pastor in their family. He's an elderly man. He's the person who talks, he's the one who carries out issues in the family. I called him and I said, I am in so much trouble. And please, I was thinking, why don't you come over, we talk? Let me tell you, Guka, what is happening. Everyone hates me here. Nobody wants to hear me. My husband is completely siding with his people. I have nobody to talk to, and I can see my marriage is going down. And I can see things are happening the way they shouldn't happen. So please, I would want us to have a meeting so that we can discuss these issues, so that I also see how I'll be able to sort out my marriage. Where that grandfather called my mother-in-law and told her that wife has called, and she has told me 1, 2, 3. And actually, she's telling me that you're the one who is spoiling their marriage. And I'm telling you, that man had no wisdom at all to deal with an issue like that. Because if I'm mentioning to you, my mother-in-law is doing this and that, you don't go straight to my mother-in-law.
Yes.
You are supposed to enter into a vehicle, come to Nairobi, and find out exactly what is happening. You sit me and my husband down and see, because your wife mentioned your mother-in-law, where is she coming in? I am telling you, the hatred escalated to another level. It escalated to another level. And I remember now, I was so desperate, Esther. I was so desperate. So at work, I also have pressure to perform, which I was performing. Now this day, I went to work, and that time I was doing a few clips for my boss. That is what we would play in between his programs. And I used to do very good clips, because sometimes people would come with their short stories, and I have helped a lot of people that I did their stories, and they, you know, as the producer of those clips, someone would see, like I did a story of a lady who was living in Kibra slums. And the child had a leg that was, I think, shorter than the other. But it's something that could have been done corrective surgery. So I remember we did her story, and the way this lady could not afford to take care of the son, because she also had marriage problems. She had been chased away from her family, and now the son has never worn a shoe. By the way, through these things that I am going through, the stories that I am doing, God is moving, and people are getting their breakthroughs. Lakini breakthrough yangu, God, iko wapi? That was my question. Where is my breakthrough? So these guys from Panda Hospital, some doctors who had come, some Israeli doctors who had come, they were watching. And they saw this story, and they called family, and they said, who is the producer of that show? And they were told it is me. So we now organized how this child will be taken all the way to Panda Hospital in Mombasa, and they were done for corrective surgery. Then they came back to Nairobi. He was put free of charge. They sponsored the whole process. And I'm telling you, for the first time, the boy wore a shoe. And we celebrated about it. So I was doing those kind of clips. So one afternoon, I am seated, and I don't have a story for tomorrow. Because what normally happens with these stories, people can keep on, they say they'll come, then tomorrow something happens, and they call you, Caro, we cannot shoot tomorrow, we cannot do this. So that day I didn't have a story. And so I'm seated on my desk at family, and then I'm called by the receptionist. There's someone here to see you. And at that time, I remember we would go and shoot some gospel musicians in town. They had started a fellowship in town. And so we would do that. So he just decided to pop in. And when he came with this Rwandese lady. And at that time, I didn't have a story. So he started telling me, you know, Caro, we were just passing by. I was producing some music somewhere, and I thought to come and see you. And I discovered this lady has a story. And this lady, I was well aware of the war in Rwanda. Because as a journalist, you keep on following.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, we had very many testimonies from Rwanda. And I was following those testimonies. And now I have a lady who is sitting here.
Yes.
She's from Rwanda. She wants to tell her story about the war and how God transformed her and how God did things for her. And actually this lady, she told me she had, at one point, the soldiers came and they shot everybody. And at that time, something happened to her when she was a bit younger. And she fell and she died. And that was a story that was known in Rwanda. And when she died, so God took her to heaven and she had an experience. And when she got to heaven, she saw children, small children there. And God told her, these children are the children that are aborted. And God sent her back with a message. Go and tell the women in the world to stop aborting children. So that is the story she came with. And I got excited. And I said, okay, let us do this story.
Yes.
Why don't you come tomorrow and we can do the recording? So tomorrow they came and I sat with the cameraman and we did the story. So after that, we became acquaintances with these people because this lady also wanted to do a book. And me as an editor, I'm both a video editor and I'm also a writer. And I got very interested in this story. And I knew now this is going to be my breakthrough in print journalism. So I decided I'm going to do her story. I'm going to write her book. I'm going to edit her book. And I was going to do it because I had other short stories that I had done. I had a biography that I had done. And imagine one day I told my husband, one day I'm going to write a book about my story. And he told me, hey, if you were to write a book, you would have done a book when you were 17. Right now is when you're going to do a book. So what are you going to write in that book? So that... Every time I told him something, he would push me down, he would intimidate me, there was a lot of manipulation, and everything I discovered, everything I discussed with him, he would go sit down with his mother, and that story would get to his sister, and now it was like they are working on me thoroughly. So this lady has come, and we are seated, and she told her story. And with the time, now after that, she came again, and she told me, you know, now that you told me you were going to do my book, I don't have a place to stay. And she told me she doesn't have a place to stay. And I thought to myself, okay, because you're going to be here for a few days, my house is big. I can host you in my house. And so that in the evenings, when I come back, we can now start doing your story. And I can start writing down, because I'm very good in writing. I can start doing your story. So I invited that lady over to my house. And she came. But there was also another Rwandese pastor that had met in family. So I called him and they talked. And that pastor assured me, this is my daughter. It's somebody I know from Rwanda. That one is good. So I said, oh yeah, I'm excited because I was also looking at this is another income stream for me because I am struggling.
Yes.
If I do her book, we can market her book, we can sell her book, and I can come up with a strategy on how to do it.
Yes.
So I was very excited at that time because now I'm also seeing, besides what I'm thinking, and because my focus is lost, I can regain my life again. I can, and all this time, Esther, there is not even one day I have ever thought of leaving my husband. I decided I will stay there until things change. My sister-in-law had started saying, you don't even know how to, hey, Caro, you don't even know how to dress. You know, a lot of stories here and there. And even before, she had even my husband now started complaining. You see, even the way my sister dresses, you can look like my sister. You know, my sister does her nails. My sister does, it was the song. It was miserable. It was really bad for me. So when this lady, before this lady came, I went to God and I said, God, my husband doesn't even appreciate my clothes. What do I do? And there is not even any money remaining from my salary to buy myself clothes because he has left all the responsibility to me. And let me tell you something, Esther. I had a voice speaking to me and saying, my daughter, do not worry. From today, I will dress you.
Amen.
I will dress you. Somebody would come to family TV, a partner, and maybe it is somebody that I helped. Then over the weekend, they'll call me and say, Caro, I have a gift for you. Do you know people started giving me clothes?
Amen.
People started giving me clothes. People started giving me materials to make kitenges. Now, when this lady came all the way from Rwanda, she came and she had in her possession a kitenge. And she told me, you know, when I was coming, God told me to buy you a something. And when you see it, you will know for sure that it is God who has sent me here. When she went to her suitcase, she brought me a kitenge. What else do you need to tell you that it is God who has connected the two of you together? And the connection was so real. So me, I took in the lady, and now she told me she wants to do her book outline. So I told her we don't even have a laptop in the house or a computer. And I told my husband this. So in fact, actually the day he came, he was okay. We have visitors. We have a visitor. And I told them she's born again and everything. And he was okay with it. So after 2 days, 3 days, this lady, I showed her the garage because we had a computer. Those days, computers were not the normal thing that we have here. So I showed her the computer. So she would go there to do her story outline.
Yes.
So now when she was there, she got now to mingle with my mother-in-law. In that place. She got now to mingle with my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law, now this lady was also, she really also wanted to go to the UK and the US. And they started telling her, you know, my husband travels, and it is true he would travel. And maybe he can travel with you. He can travel with you. And within no time, Esther, the lady now was the lady of the house. They are together with my husband. And now the discussion is together with my mother-in-law. And now, you see, when this lady came, their intention was already now to chase me away, to kick me out of the house in a way that they will never, ever see me again.
Because that is what they have been wanting.
That is what
Even
they have been wanting.
Yes. It was to push you to come out of your marriage.
Yes, and they are saying that they are not going. So now they decided to use this Rwandese lady. So the Rwandese lady came, and one time things got so bad. She went back to Rwanda. Then she came back again. Now, when she came back again, this night, my husband did not come home. This lady, Rwandese lady, and my husband went to spend the night at my mother-in-law's house. And when they spent the night there, that is where it was all planned on how they are going to come back and chase me. And my sister-in-law was also part of the deal. So in the morning, I woke up, the guy didn't come home. And out, let me tell you, Esther, that lady stayed with us. But my mind cannot tell me there is something that is happening here.
You didn't know?
I did not know.
You didn't suspect?
I did not suspect. Why? Because there is something, this food that my mother-in-law used to bring, there was something that was happening to me. My mind had totally gone. I was even underperforming at my place of work. I would go to work, and lunchtime, I would go to sleep in the garden. And I would sleep, Esther. And until one time, my boss could see me from the office, and he sees me sleeping. And he knew I was having marriage problems. And you know, he told the HR, never ever go to wake up Caro. Let her sleep until she wakes up. So sometimes I would always have to put the alarm. And when I put the alarm at 2 a.m., because I never used to sleep, then I would go back to the office. And let me tell you, through it all, I started underperforming, and my boss never ever chased me out of my work. He would call me and sit down with me, and he would tell me stories about people. And that is why today, to this day, I respect Mr. Leo Slingerland, because he treated me like a daughter, and he understood me. So now when this lady went and sat with my mother-in-law and she discovered this was the plan, she got into the mix. Because apparently she wants to finish her book here and then she wants to go to the US and settle. So now she has seen an opportunity. She has found people who hate. She has found people who don't want me there. So the idea was for her to get rid of me and then for her to get married to my husband and they go together to the US. Let me tell you, Esther, when people sit down to conspire against you, this God that we serve is a God of miracles, signs and wonders. And this thing reminds me so much about what happens, you know, the courtroom in heaven. I'm telling you, everything you sit down in darkness to conspire. I'm telling you, you always forget. You are conspiring in a room that has 4 walls. But God in heaven, God in heaven can see everything that you are doing. So the next day, I went to church. My husband did not come. And so I had a house girl. Now, at this time, God has sent me a house girl all the way from Cumberland. Now, let me tell you what is happening to this house girl. This house girl, and they had fought with the husband because of her mother-in-law. But this girl used to pray. And now she has come to Nairobi. And now she immediately, somebody told her I was looking for a house girl. Now she's in my house. Now we are 2 women who have, you know, who are having marital problems. She's my house girl. So in the evening, we used to hold hands and we used to pray. We used to pray. And you know, she had not stayed there for long. I think she had stayed there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks with me. And she had begun to see. But let me tell you, God brought her timely. So that morning, in fact, we went with her to our church. Now, at this time, I had left even the church that I was going now. I had joined the fellowship. And when we got home, she started telling me, you know, hey, there's something that is so weird. Huyu msichana, this Rwandese lady, be very careful with her. But by afternoon, I am called by this pastor. And he tells me, Carol, your husband has just called me and he has summoned me to your house. And he had called me plus another lady that we used to also fellowship together. And then me, I called another lady friend of mine who was also a neighbor. And then at that time, my dad and my mom called me and they told me, by the way, we are on our way to Embakasi, but we wanted to pass by there and bring the children yogurt. Are you home? I told them, yes, Dad, I'm home. By the way, I understand. My husband has called people to my house. He didn't sleep here, but he has called people to my house and everyone is coming to my house. And I said, and he said, okay, what is the problem? I said, I don't know. So my dad said, okay, let us come. So they went to Naivas, bought yogurt for the children, and they came home. So by the time my husband was coming, he came with this Rwandese lady. And they were in the house, and my parents had come, and the people he had come. So it was now a meeting, which I was not aware of. It is people who are telling me, we have been told to come. So it was March 14th, 2010. That was the day people converged into my house.
And your mother-in-law?
And my mother has come, and my father has come with this Rwandese lady. And you know, my mother-in-law, I can tell she's the one on the phone. Yes, and she's encouraging the guy. And the guy is walking around the house. He is singing this song. There's a song he used to love so much. And it used to go like, this is my desire to honor you. Even our best man was also with him. So even the best man came. Na wote tukakaa sitting room. And now we are waiting to hear what is this big. But before that, my husband kept on telling me, let me tell you, I am going to do something so big that everybody will know. I'm going to do something very big. And let me tell you, this man also had some suicidal thoughts. Because there's a time, but he told me, he wanted to put me and my children in the Land Rover. That time we had a van. He wanted to put me and my children in a van and take us all the way on the way to Rift Valley. And he wanted to roll the car into the cliffs and have us rolling there. We go die, all of us there.
Jesus.
Yeah, that is what he had told me. And he knows that is what he had told me. So now he has brought people home.
And he didn't act on that? Carol,
let me tell you, I was like a zombie, Esther. I was like a zombie. it's like he would tell me every intention, and I was just there, and I could not do any. I don't know why I could not act. I don't know why I could not do anything. And now the meeting has been called, so we are all seated in the sitting room, and we are now waiting to hear why we have all been called.
Now people are gathered in Carol's house without her knowledge, and she doesn't know what is about to happen. Do you want to know more about it? Watch our next program. Thank you for continuing watching.
Wonders, God of